What's up, Raider Nation? Welcome to the True Raider Podcast. I am your host, True Raider. Now, we got some Raiders breaking news. The Las Vegas Raiders have traded cornerback Jakorian Bennet for defensive tackle Thomas Booker from the Philadelphia Eagles, man. And I'm like really surprised right now, honestly. Jakorian Bennet has been that dude that we keep hyping up, thinking, oh, this is going to be our next cornerback one. This is going to be our next guy. He's this, he's that, blah, 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 blah. And what it really has come down to is that there was a whole lot of rumors swirling this offseason that Jakorian Bennet was taking reps with the twos instead of the ones. There was a whole lot of talk about his shoulder injury and if he was coming back from that successfully. And also a lot of people have been talking about, is Jakorian Bennet the kind of corner that Pete Carroll really, really wants, right? The dude is 5'10". He is fast, but he's 5'10". And Pete Carroll has really been putting together this defensive back room of really tall, lanky, quick cornerbacks. And they have been performing all offseason. And so I think that's really starting to kind of show through, man. It's really starting to show through. And I'm going to go ahead and pull up this article real quick, man. Let's just read it. And this is NFL.com. So it says, Eagles acquire cornerback Jakorian Bennet from Raiders in exchange for defensive tackle Thomas Booker. And that just happened, you guys. That literally just happened. So the Eagles and the Raiders have spiced up training camp with a trade. Philadelphia is acquiring cornerback Jakorian Bennet from Las Vegas in exchange for defensive tackle Thomas Booker. NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport reported Monday evening. A fourth-round pick in the 2023 draft, Bennet heads to the Super Bowl champs as the more experienced starter of the two players involved in the swap. He's played in 24 games for Las Vegas with 11 starts, including 7 last season. He has 58 career tackles and 11 passes defensed. Considering Philly's well-stocked secondary, which ranked first in the league in passing yards allowed in 2024, Bennet likely won't slot in as a primary starter in his new home. However, he does offer yet another depth piece to the cornerback room that includes Quinion Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Keely Ringo, Adoree Jackson, and Mac McWilliams. Booker, meanwhile, is the 2022 fifth-round draft pick of the Texans, who appeared in all 17 regular season one-start games for the Eagles last season. He contributed 18 tackles and a sack. His addition to the Raiders beefs up options along the front seven's interior, which was recently altered by the release of Christian Wilkins. It's not necessarily a seismic swap for either squad, but as rosters begin to take shape and training camps progress, these are the kind of moves clubs will make to get every bit out of their eventual 53-man roster. Now, what this tells me, you guys, is that Jakorian Bennet was not making the cut, right? Because Jakorian Bennet was kind of highly touted in these past couple regimes, and we keep swapping regime after regime after regime, and we really haven't been in a position where Q with the roses. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother. But yeah, like he really just has not been. I mean, he has been talked about really, really well, right? But I don't know, man. Like, he passed the eye test for me. As far as, like, the stat test, I didn't really see anything that really, really jumped out at me. And I'm going to pull that up on the screen on YouTube right now. But, Jakorian Bennett's 5'10", 200 pounds. He's 24 years old. He was a fourth-round pick, 104 overall. And really, we haven't seen much out of him, honestly, right? But I kind of felt like he was, I don't know, I wouldn't say a lockdown corner, but I felt like he was the best corner that we had because Jack Jones was flashy but kind of a liability. And so in 2023, he played 14 games for us, 32 tackles, and then no interceptions, and he had 3 passes defensed. And then last year, he played in 10 games. He did go out with a shoulder injury. He had 26 tackles, um, no interceptions, but then he had 8 passes defense. And I really felt like this dude was passing the eye test, and I really had like a lot of high hopes for him. And the corners that we brought in, I didn't really like, Eric Stokes and like, I mean, yeah, okay, Darian Porter is a great rookie, but he was a wide receiver that transferred into a corner. And I haven't really had a whole lot of hope that, these guys are going to really come through, man. Joe with the follow, salute, man. Ricardo Ortiz, before he got hurt, he was balling, and I felt like that, right? And it looked really good. And so for him to be getting traded, then we got to look at, okay, what are we doing over here? Yo, Chewy, what up? What up? Salute, man, salute. I am disappointed, and I felt like that initially, and now I'm trying to take a look at this objectively, but it's weird, man. That's what I'm getting right now, right? And this is instant reaction because I just flipped open my phone and boom, oh damn, Adam Schefter saying that we're trading Jakorian Bennet for Thomas Booker. Who's Thomas Booker? So let's pull up Thomas Booker. All right, so Thomas Booker, he's a defensive tackle. He was on the Philadelphia Eagles, and he's 6'3", 301 pounds. He's 25 years old. He was a 5th round pick. So if we look at his stats, in 2022 with Houston, played for 10 games, 15 tackles, half a sack, 1 pass defense. And then missed the 2023 season. Honestly, I don't even know why at this point. I need to look into that. 2024, last year with the Eagles, he played in all 17 games, which kind of tells me a lot, right? James with the follow, salute, man. It kind of tells me a lot that you got this guy playing in all 17 games on that Eagles defense that is absolutely stacked on that defensive line. That whole defensive line is actually pretty insane. They got our guy Jalen Carter. We should have got him, but we didn't. We passed on him for Tyree Wilson. Still resentful, man. But like his stats don't pop out, right? He had he played for 17 games last year, 18 tackles, 1 sack. And so I'm like, all right, what is it? Maybe it's his like run stop grade, or maybe something like that is gonna really be, I don't know, standing out. So I pulled up his PFF stuff. Thomas Booker, 53.4 overall grade. He had 167 snaps, 3 pressures. All right, let's look at overall grade, 53.4, pass rush grade, 54.1, and run defense grade, 51.1. Don saying he only started 1 game, though. No, this is Patrick. Is it a good trade or no? And honestly, I don't really know right now. Ryan's saying as a Raiders fan, I don't really like the trade. And what this speaks to me is that we have a whole lot of depth when it comes to our defensive back room. And it was looking like Jakorian Bennet was probably going to be our 5th cornerback. And so if he's looking at being our 5th cornerback, our defensive tackle room is not looking great, right? And if our defensive tackle room is not looking great, then it makes sense for us to go ahead and do this kind of move. So I'm going to pull up the Raiders roster because I want to look at, like, what does our defensive line look like, right? Because if our defensive tackles are, I mean, when I was talking about the roster a couple of days ago, man, and sorry guys, I've been out, dude. My wife and I both had surgery last weekend. Surprise, she ended up in the ER late Friday night. I ended up in the ER late Saturday night. It's crazy, man. It's been a crazy, crazy week. Um, and I really just haven't felt up to it, man. And I saw this news and I said, man, I need to get out of my rut and just go ahead and do this, man. Patrick, you think we're gonna get Justin Simmons? I don't, man. I think that Pete Carroll really likes this defensive back room right now. Ryder, I never thought the time would come where I would want Jakorian Bennet to get injured. Damn. I don't wish bad on the dude, but Prime Will is saying looks like Eric Stokes has been balling. And that's exactly it, right? If we were in a position where Jakorian Bennett was like what looked like our best cornerback, and then all of a sudden we're trading him for this defensive tackle that isn't not a flashy guy at all, that just goes to show that we have improved on this roster, and I absolutely love that. Jason said JB fell this camp with the Pete Carroll ESC corners striving, and that's exactly it, man. That is exactly it. Corey saying Eagles won that trade, and I kind of feel like they did, but Jakorian Bennett, what's he going to do on the Eagles? Like, the Eagles are stacked in their cornerback room also. So that's kind of surprising to me. So right now, our defensive tackle room, JJ Pegues, he's a rookie from this year. Trevin, I don't even know how to say his name. Trevin Mahay, Jonah Lalu, which we've been hearing good things about Jonah Lalu. Tonka Hemingway, rookie from this year. Lecky Fotu, definitely a dude to be looking at because he's just a mountain of a man, but he knows nothing about football, you know? Kendra Coburn, I don't even know that name, honestly. Zach Carter did show up for us last year. I felt like he played well. He didn't play Christian Wilkins well, but he played well, right? Then we got Adam Butler, who is definitely solidified himself as a starter on this roster. Tank Booker, who honestly I don't know about shit about. And then Tyree Wilson is not only playing edge, but he's taking snaps on the inside, right? And so it's really kind of putting him in a position where a lot of his snaps are going to come from the inside. And so it just shows me that we don't have a whole lot of faith in our defensive tackle room or the depth or lack of depth that we have there. Because, yeah, there's a whole lot of names here, but who are most of these guys, right? And so if Thomas Booker is playing all 17 games for the Eagles, regardless on if he's starting or not, I think that he's going to look a lot better on our roster. Let me see. Jaden said, I just got Jakorian Bennett's jersey for my birthday. Dude, that sucks, and I hate that. That's the thing I hate about getting current player jerseys. I have a Devontae Adams. I have a Josh Jacobs. I'm feeling pretty good about my Jacoby Myers jersey right now. Feel good about my Max Crosby, Let's see. Let me see. Corey, depth, or they are gearing up to trade for number 11. And that's like a weird one to me too, right? Is the whole Micah Parsons thing. There is, I don't know, man. There's some rumors swirling around about Max Crosby and Micah Parsons, and Micah Parsons was wearing a Max Crosby shirt at practice the day before he requested a trade from the Cowboys, and there's like a whole lot of that stuff, man. But Mondo Alvarez, why not bring in Parsons? We need elite players now. And I would love to see that. I don't know if I would love to give the trade compensation that would take, because let's face it, it would take a whole lot of trade compensation. Chipped Tooth Eagles fan here. Take care of Book. He's rising. Okay. That's good to hear. Thank you for the info, man. I appreciate that. Raiders Fool Chris, what's up, man? Agent Zero was my guy. I'm telling you, man, it kind of hurts. I like Jakorian Bennett a lot, but it just gives me a whole lot of faith that we're going to be in a position to be a whole lot better in our secondary. Let's see. Prime Will, I think he was our fourth best CB with Stokes, Richardson, and Darian Porter being our top 3 CB And I think that's what's going on is that he was like fourth or fifth on the depth chart, and they said, "What are we doing with Jakorian Bennett? We ought to go out there and get us a defensive tackle." Oh my God, Corey's saying the Eagles doing that to make more room for Parsons. That would be insane, bro. What's up, Mike? True Raiders. No, this is Patrick. First preseason game is on Thursday. Let's go. And I'm excited about that, right? And we're going to be doing a watch party here. I will not be streaming the game because you get your channel shut down for that. But we will, I'll be calling the game. We'll be talking about different stuff throughout the game. So make sure to join Thursday night. It's going to be a late night game. Oh, damn. I just realized my shit came unplugged and I'm going to lose TikTok here in a little bit. I got 13% battery. I don't know why this thing's unplugged. All right, give me a second, you guys. Let me plug this in real quick. Boom, got it. All right, cool. Let me see. See, Jaden's saying, I promise you, Jakorian Bennett is better than all three of those guys, and it's not even close. But I don't really know, man, because, what it really comes down to is that he's getting traded away and these other guys are not, right? And it could be these other guys didn't have the value and they said, you know what, we're willing to take a loss on this to pull in this defensive tackle. But, I mean, Booker is not some big flashy name. So if you're thinking that Jakorian Bennett's our best cornerback, why would we trade our best cornerback away for a defensive tackle that's a fifth-round pick? You know what I'm saying? See, and Michael here, true Raiders fan, doesn't even know the players. That's the thing, right? Is that we're in the off season. We haven't made our cuts yet. Of course, I don't know all the players that are on here, bro. We're picking up UDFAs. We're picking up scraps off of practice squads. We're picking up all kinds of different names that keep coming on. And I haven't even made videos on most of the moves that we've been making on the roster because why bother make a video on some name that's not even going to make the fucking roster? You know what I'm saying? So, whatever, dude. Aaron's saying that's L for the Raiders. I don't know, man. I'm with Patrick. I trust in Pete Carroll and John Spytek. He knows what he's doing. So far, these guys have been making very, very good roster moves. I've been very happy with what they've been doing. So I can't go and start reacting thinking, oh, they're screwing things up because they're the ones that really have their eyes on the situation, not me. Let me see. Mark is saying he's confused on this trade. Francisco, not going to lie, this one hurts. I wanted to see him develop. I did too, man. I really like Jakorian Bennett a lot, but I mean, if they don't think he's worth keeping right now, then I'm just gonna have to trust in the process, man. Marcus Washington with the follow salute, man. I appreciate it. Andrew Miller saying meaningless trade for both sides, to be honest. And I don't know that it's necessarily meaningless. I think it's just really adding depth to both sides. And I don't know, man. I don't think that the Eagles are going to use Jakorian Bennett as much as we're going to use Booker. I have a feeling that we'll end up using Booker more than the Eagles will use Jakorian Bennett. It just makes me wonder, like, did we really not have a plan to use Jakorian Bennett ourselves? Because that's crazy. Aaron Sosa, now if the starters get hurt, we don't have anyone good for backup. So let's go ahead and pull up the roster on corners. It still shows us with Jakorian Bennett. Then we got Darnay Holmes, which I've been hearing good things about Holmes out of camp. He's also a 5'10" corner, though, so he doesn't really fit the bill. And then we got John Humphrey, which I'll be straight up, I don't know much about John Humphrey except he's 6'2". Um, Caillou Blue Kelly, I thought we cut him. Why is he on this? We've got Darian Porter, rookie, third round pick, 6'2", speedster. He's been showing out. DeCameron Richardson, we picked him up last year, 6'2" corner. Eric Stokes, been hearing great things about him. And then Greedy Vance, he's a 5'9" corner. I don't really know too much about Greedy Vance, honestly, and actually I want to look him up. But I did see some posts earlier about Greedy Vance and people being happy about that move. I'm gonna pull him up real quick, man. So he was playing at USC, one interception. I don't know. I don't have an opinion on that, honestly. Sam Webb, and Sam Webb was good for a while for us, and then he got injured, and there was all those issues. But I'd have to say that you're right with that comment, Aaron. Is that it kind of eats at our depth a little bit, man. It does eat at our depth a little bit, which is interesting because we definitely had more. And I think part of it is that our safety room is so like we have a lot of safeties, right? We got Jeremy Chin, Hudson Clark, Thomas Harper, Lonnie Johnson Jr., who just went down with an injury, which is really unfortunate. Isaiah Paul-Mal, Chris Smith, Trey Taylor, JT Woods. So it could be that we got, one or two of these guys at least, which I have heard some rumors of them doing both safety and corner. So I could see a lot of that happening. Let's see. Marcus with the follow. Oh, yeah, I said that one already, right? And yeah, it's looking like we are thin. We are thin. We have like 93 people on our roster right now. How could he keep track? That's just how it is, bro. That's how it is. I ain't no expert. I'm just a Raiders fan. That's it. Prime Will saying, I want to say JB was our fourth best cornerback with Stokes, Richardson, Darian Porter being our best three. I agree with that. It ain't like other years. We finally have a competent front office and head coach. Talk that shit. RN4L. Who is the DT we are getting? Thomas Booker the fourth. He's coming over from the Eagles. Doesn't have a whole lot of flashy stats or anything like that, but he played in 17 games for the Eagles last year. I think that says a lot about the guy because they're just absolutely stacked on their defensive line. Raider D87. Thing is, Holmes will hit and tackle. JB didn't. And that was something that I didn't really like about Jakorian Bennet is that his tackling was kind of subpar, but I felt like his coverage was very, very sticky, man. All right, Red Rum, what's going on? Hello, what's good, bro? Over here on Twitch on the Purple app. Thank you for not being a WWE stream. Oh man, you just getting here to talk shit, bro. Over or under 7 wins, that's easy. Over. Definitely over 7 wins. You'll see. You will see, sir. We'll see. I'm going to catch up over here on TikTok, bro. I'm behind. Chris Smith was a safety. He was a 4th-round pick. He played for Georgia. And I liked his tape coming out, but he hasn't played for us for, like, at all. It's crazy, man. Let me see. King, are there going to be more deals starting this week and next week? I don't know that we're going to be too much a part of those deals, but Scary Terry on the Commanders, he's asking for a trade. Micah Parsons on the Cowboys, he's asking for a trade. There's some really big name players out there right now. I just don't know that we're going to do that. Now, the Micah Parsons thing, that's something that I would actually want us to do because he's asking for a trade. His value will go down, but he's still going to go for a pretty high ransom. The dude is just an absolute beast of an edge. But can you imagine pairing him with Max Crosby? It would just be absolutely insane. And then the Christian Wilkins money that we just freed up, then all of a sudden we have the money to pay for him. So if it happened, I wouldn't be like, oh, I never saw this coming. But I would be really, really excited, man. I hate this prototype stuff. If you can guard, you can guard. Sir, I mean, I think that there's a lot to that, and I'm not sure what the whole idea is and like making sure to bring in corners that are tall. I mean, all of our corners are like, most of them are like 6'2", 6'3". I think we even have one that's 6'4", man. I don't even want to misquote that, bro, but we got some tall, quick corners. Let me see. 6'1", 6'2" is what they are. And so you bring in somebody that's 5'10", yeah, like that's not that big of a deal. But when you have 4 inches, like 4 inches is 4 inches, right? And if you don't think 4 inches is a lot, like, go ask your lady if you had 4 inches less, would that really matter? Because it's going to matter. Let's see. I already read that one. Carl with the follow. Salute, man. Danny's 80s. Thomas any good? If he played 17 games for the Eagles, he's got to be pretty good. He's got to be pretty good. Coach Z has some kind of beef with the Raiders. What's funny, right, is that the Raiders, we've been trash for decades. And we are the only team that has a losing record for 20 years that people just really want to talk shit about, right? Kind of tells you that there's people must be threatened by something that they know that we're due. Marcus, one thing about Pete, he's going to put the best players on the field, especially on defense. And I really feel like if Pete Carroll thought that Jakorian Bennet was one of our best players out there, that he would have actually held on to him, right? Because he's not going to let a good corner go. I mean, that's one of the things that he really values. So why would he just give that up, right? Raider Nation says, I don't like this move, just got on. And he did hold Jay Chase very good. And that's what I was saying earlier, that he really passed the eye test, but I mean, they have to see something that we're not seeing, right? Support Live Music saying 10-win season this year, playoff bound. And I do think that we are going to be in playoff contention. Yeah, Marcus, we can't use the Wilkins money yet due to him fighting for his money, but I don't know, man. I don't think he's going to win that. They straight up told Christian Wilkins, we want you to get another surgery. And Christian Wilkins says, nah, I think I want to get another opinion. And then he went and got several other opinions. All those doctors said, you should get the surgery. The Raiders doctors, the Raiders front office is saying, you should get the surgery. And he went, no, I don't really want to get the surgery. Boom, that's a breach of contract right there. Guaranteed money, gone. John Leon saying he was going to be released, so why not get a young player for him? I would actually be really surprised if Jakorian Bennet would have been released. But I think that he would have definitely fallen down our depth chart pretty significantly. And I'm also wondering if, because he had that shoulder injury last year, maybe something's going on with that, man. It's kind of like how the Dolphins didn't bring back Christian Wilkins, right? And we were like, I was shocked. I can't believe that the Dolphins let Christian Wilkins walk. And then, he only played 5 games for us. oh, maybe the Dolphins knew something that we didn't, right? And so, I have a feeling that Pete Carroll and John Spytek are seeing something in Jakorian Bennett that the rest of us are not seeing, or seeing something in these other defensive backs that they're like, you know what, we don't really need him. And what we need is to bring in another defensive tackle that's going to be able to bring competition to this front line. We'll see how that goes, man. Zeus, as an Eagles fan, what can you say about Jakorian? What I could say about Jakorian Bennett is that he is fast, he is sticky. The dude, he's 5'10", so he's not very tall, but he is great in coverage. He's gonna break up passes. He's not gonna get you interceptions. He's not gonna be a starter for you guys because you guys are just stacked in that defensive back room. It's insane. Uh, I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about Booker, but what I'm feeling is that you guys probably won the trade. If you're still in the chat, though, let us know. What can we know about Booker? Broncos for life. Who do you think will win our division? Not you. Honestly, right now, I think that we are going to take a huge step up in our division. Um, but the Chiefs aren't in a position where I can really say that I think that they're not going to continue to win the division, at least for this year. I would love for any one of us to dethrone them, honestly, because they've been fucking running this shit for almost a decade, man. It's already ridiculous. But I don't know, man. The fact that we got better, Broncos got better, Chargers got better, I think that the Chiefs they're starting to crumble a little bit, right? And they're about to lose Kelsey. I mean, yeah, I don't have any kind of delusions that we're just going to go out right away with our first year with Pete Carroll and Geno Smith and win our division, but we're going to give comp for it. That's for sure. Daniel, this means no Micah. So Micah is an edge rusher and Booker is a defensive tackle. So they don't play the same position. So that doesn't really mean no Micah. 831 Raider Nation, bro. We have the weakest CB room and we're getting rid of a starter. And I mean, I'm starting to sound like a broken record, but it's gonna it's gonna be that these other players were outperforming him in camp, and so maybe these guys are gonna show out. King AB, what's good, man? Booker is solid, and we thought he'd be the next man up on our team. You guys will love him. Okay, so you're an Eagles fan. I mean, I hope that you're right with that, King AB, because we really need some defensive tackle help. Adam Butler is good, man, but the loss of Christian Wilkins, that's hurt us significantly. And I like that we had John Jenkins last year, but we lost John Jenkins to the Ravens. And even though he's older, he was still solid for us. So if Booker can come in and play at least up to the John Jenkins level, I'll be happy with that. But if you guys think that he's the next man up, that's a tough one with your guys' defensive line, man, because that defensive line is crazy, bro. My boss is a Eagles fan, so she always tells me all kinds of stuff, bro, and can't even talk shit. Nipping Edward. Anyone have a scouting report on Thomas Booker? I haven't looked that up yet, man. That's a good idea. All right. So it says Thomas Booker is a defensive lineman known for his exceptional athleticism and versatility. He was drafted by the Houston Texans in the fifth round of the 2022 NFL Draft. Booker's strengths include his ability to play multiple positions along the defensive line, his strong hands, and his high motor. While he excels as a run defender and possesses good lateral agility, he is sometimes criticized for lacking explosiveness and a consistent pass rush. Okay, so thank you, Nipping Edward. I appreciate that, right? Because I didn't even think to look that up. Um, even though his PFF grades were shitty, his scouting report says that he excels as a run defender. And then the versatility, um, the athleticism, those are all key points. And then, if we're bringing him in, he's probably a high character guy, right? So Raider Mike 27 saying Bennet, not Carroll's kind of cornerback, and that's true, man. Seeing he's okay, average at best, and that's what really gets me, right? Is like we as Raider fans liked Jakorian Bennet, but is that because Jakorian Bennet is somebody that's really worth liking, or is it that Jakorian Bennet was kind of the best that we had, and so he looked good by comparison? I don't really have the answer to that. Shout out to you, Raider Mike. Let's see. Yeah, Raider Mike saying no, Bennett was doomed. Too many taller physical CBs on the Raiders. And I think, and that was kind of making me, like, I thought of that right away as soon as, like, we started bringing in all these tall guys. And they're talking about Pete Carroll likes these tall guys. And I'm like, I wonder if Bennett is going to be able to survive this roster or not, because he came in 2 regimes ago. So, I mean, Pete Carroll and John Spytek, they don't owe him shit. And sometimes it's like, it's more about we just want our guys instead of like, it was this guy, better than that guy or whatever. Francisco, you need to be pausing right now, bro. Big Papa saying Booker is solid. Charger fans, we don't listen to whether you think we're making a bad move or not, bro, because y'all been making bad moves. Jason with the follow, salute, man. Wally, who did we get? We got Thomas Booker from the Eagles, defensive tackle. Let's see. User with the follow, salute. What is going on here, man? Marcus, in my opinion, I would build the trenches up with pressure on the QB, will hide the CB flaws. And that's the thing, right? Is that if you don't have a solid defensive line, corners can only cover what they can cover, right? Like if you have the most trash defensive line and the most stacked defensive back room, those defensive backs are going to fail. That's the math of it, right? Now, if you have a stacked defensive line and a pretty awful cornerback room, well, those corners are going to look a whole lot better just because the defensive line is putting that pressure and they're doing what they need to do up front. If you can have a decent defensive back room and a good defensive line, that's a great recipe for success, man. Let's see. See, and a lot of people are feeling that same way. Why did we trade our best cornerback? And the thing is that, like, I thought that same thing, but I don't think Pete Carroll did, or else we would have gotten more for him. Carl, we're going to surprise a lot of teams. The Raiders are listed as one of the most improved teams in the NFL this offseason. And I don't even remember the last time seeing that. And it gives me a whole lot of hope, right? Like, and I keep saying I have us going 9-8. But the more that I just kind of see everything unfolding, I don't know if I'm getting like overconfident or what, but I'm starting to feel like maybe we're in store for something even better, man. Dave Gear was good, man. All we can do is trust it. And that's what it comes down to, man. And I'm seeing a lot of names I haven't seen before. So if you guys don't know, I got on my computer, I got YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch going. And then on my phone, I got TikTok going. I can't multi-platform stream all on my computer for some reason. It is what it is. So if I'm reading comments and you're not seeing them, just know that they're coming from another platform. Let's see. Francisco, I've been a Raider Since 1983, Al Davis is turning his back in his box about his son making wrong move. You know, I'd say the Josh McDaniels thing, horrible move. Um, Antonio Pierce, it seemed like the right move, and I think that it was like it kind of got us out of the dumps of what Josh McDaniels' move did, and got us into a spot where we could like start to actually kind of build right and head the right direction with the culture. And Pete Carroll and John Spytek, those are amazing moves, man. And bringing in Tom Brady, amazing move. So I think he's starting to get his shit together a little bit. Raider Mike saying Booker is a solid even trade. Okay, Angel Booker was Eagles' third string, and we traded our best corner. Don't matter if that's not a Pete Carroll CB. I mean, it does matter. It does matter if it's not Pete Carroll CB because he doesn't fit the mold of what they want to do. But more importantly, is the third string defensive tackle for the Eagles better than our first string corner? That's my question. I don't have an answer to that question, but that's my question, right? Because if Booker is a better all around player than Jakorian Bennet, but Jakorian Bennett's a starter just because our corners suck, and Booker is third string just because they're stacked on their defensive line, you know, and it's going to be a wait and see, right? Aaron, you think Ruggs will ever play again? I do. I don't think that the Raiders will give him a chance. If he's truly done the work to change himself, I always believe in second chances, man. Um, I honestly believe people can change their life. Aaron with the follow salute. And if people honestly do the work to change their life in the proper ways and they're real genuine about it, then yeah, man, I would love to see him get another chance. I just don't think it'll be with the Raiders, man. There was a what was that thing called again, man? They did like a release from prison so he could go speak at this thing, man. And the interview that he did there, like it was solid, bro. It what I heard was somebody who had changed and not just saying the right things, but and I work with I work with inmates for a living, right? And so like my bullshit meter is pretty good, and I didn't really think that the dude was bullshitting at all, man. He really seemed very genuine, and that it was that he was making the most out of that experience, you know. But he messed up big, man. Baron O'Beef Dip. Do you think Spytek gonna sign or trade for another player before the deadline? I think that there's gonna definitely be more roster moves. I don't think that we have our final 53 just solidified right now with the guys that we have. I think that there's gonna still be some movement and fluctuation, but I don't know that we're gonna get a big name guy. The only big name guy I think that we would maybe go for would be Micah Parsons, but Jerry Jones out there saying that like it's just part of negotiations and don't lose sleep over it and all that shit. Mike Russ, we should sign Shador. I was thinking that almost all the way up until the draft. And now to see him listed as the fourth string quarterback on the Browns, I don't know, man. Just Raiders, baby. What's up? Salute, salute. Good to see you, man. Nate, I'm surprised on this trade because I honestly thought they were going to cut, bro. You thought they were going to cut Jakorian Bennett? Because if they were actually going to cut Jakorian Bennett, then we definitely won the trade. Mike Russ, Browns cut Shador and we were signing him. That'd be funny, man. Johnny R. Makes zero sense. This is a dumb move. Best CB. D line depth is crazy. I mean, our defensive tackle room is looking weak. So this dude might end up being our first or second best defensive tackle. Sean's saying Raiders are going to get a free agent cornerback, and that could make some explanation to why we would do this kind of move. You might be onto something, Sean. Damn, all crazy right now. Roland Sosa with the follow. Salute, salute, man. Appreciate it, you guys, for real. All right, you guys. So I gotta tell you guys, I had surgery just a week ago, and I've been in bad shape, and that's why I haven't been on at all. And I've been on for 45 minutes, man, and it's hard for me to just sit in a chair straight up for 45 minutes, man. I'm having a lot of pain right now, so it's really just making my thought process not work very well. I'm not gelling, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it, you guys, man. You guys have been a great chat, dude. It's been a good night. I will be going live a couple of times this week. I'm gonna try to just kind of get some content out before we start the preseason. Now, the preseason, our first game is on Thursday, so it's 10 p.m. Eastern time. That's going to be 8 p.m. my time, Mountain Standard Time. I will be live for this. I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to make it throughout the whole game sitting up. I'm going to try to get myself situated to where I can get comfortable enough that I'm not putting myself through pain. But we will be doing the watch party. Will not be streaming the game, but we can get in here and watch the game together, talk about things that are going on. And then, yeah, I know it's just preseason, but I want to see these new players out there. I want to see this new regime actually on the field, right? We got to see these mock games. I saw a bunch of clips from these mock games over the last couple of days, man, and it's got me so hyped up, man. Like, I'm trying not to get too excited, man. But we'll see what's going on with that. Um, like always, I love you, nation. I'll catch you on the next one.